What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay Wilder, Mauricio Sulaiman, and Dillian, the body snatcher Whyte. Wilder versus Whyte final eliminator scenario is embraced by the WBC president. World Boxing Council President Mauricio Sulaiman has embraced the idea of sanctioning a final eliminator between highly ranked heavyweight contenders Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte. Wilder, a former WBC world champion, is ranked at number 1. Whyte is sitting in the 6th ranked position. Before that can happen, Whyte will have to win his upcoming rematch with WBC interim champion Alexander Povetkin on March 27th. Back in August of 2020, Povetkin scored a brutal 5th round knockout over Whyte, as we know. Whyte has been out of the ring since he got stopped in the 7th round by Tyson Fury in February of last year. And at the moment, there is no word on when Wilder intends to fight again. If everything falls into place, Sulaiman likes the idea of seeing Wilder and Whyte trade punches in the high-stakes fight. Yes, absolutely, he says. Yes, I like the idea. Of course, the rankings are by merit. We'll see what happens on March 27th. If Whyte wins, then he becomes the interim champion. He would be in a very privileged position, and it's just a good thing good time for boxing, said Sulaiman. Wow. Now, how do I feel about that? I think these guys, DW and DW, I think the fight is inevitable. It's inevitable. For these two guys to jump into the ring, they have to fight. They're too close in rank. They have been on many attempts to have a fight made, just as many as Wilder Joshua. Okay? So Wilder Whyte has been one of those fights that was avoided, overlooked, and Whyte wanted to fight because Deontay Wilder wanted something, or should I say, Dillian Whyte wanted something that Deontay Wilder had. Now, Deontay Wilder gets beat. Dillian Whyte laughs. Dillian Whyte gets beat. Deontay Wilder laughs. So they're both beaten, and they're both still at the top. Okay? And if Dillian Whyte beats Povetkin, they should have a fight. Because at this point, there's no need of trying to set Deontay Wilder up to fight Tyson Fury again. Don't believe that theory. That's bullshit. Okay? Okay, don't look for that to happen. Rather, look for Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte to do something to keep themselves busy by waiting for the opportunity to get to that particular belt, to get the belt back for Deontay Wilder, to finally get to the opportunity to fight for the belt for Dillian, the body snatcher Whyte. So I think the fight has to happen, and I think it's a great fight. Now, if this was last year before the loss of Dillian Whyte, I would have told you, no, Dillian Whyte's over Deontay Wilder at this point because he is the interim champion where he's been for a very long time until he was cheated out of position many times and times again, by ducking or otherwise, and other corruption. We be crooks. You know the story. I told you guys the story, okay? But since Dillian Whyte's been defeated, and he does beat Povetkin, everybody has to wait anyway. So I think that Deontay Wilder still has a pony in the show, and so does Dillian Whyte, especially if he can get past Povetkin. He has an opportunity to avenge his loss. This is his 2nd professional loss. If he avenged that loss, that means he's beat everybody that's been in the ring except for Anthony Joshua, and he has to wait on him to fight Tyson Fury. So you guys know what's going on, and he's not the first try anyway. It would be Alexander Usyk if the Tyson Fury fight doesn't end up jumping off. Okay, so I think at the end of the day, the fight between Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte is a very good fight. That should happen for so many different reasons. Grudge match reasons. WBC legitimate making shit right reasons. Okay? Bragging reasons. Okay? Competitive reasons. All types of reasons, these guys. Abbreviation reasons. DW versus DW. Let's see that fight. That's the fight that I want to see get made. I would love to see that, but Dillian Whyte does have to get past Povetkin. Now, let me counterpunch. Here's the twist. If Povetkin somehow, boom, uppercuts, knocks out Dillian Whyte will be out. And you know what it's time for? It's time for us to see the fight that we should have saw about 5 or 6 years ago with Deontay Wilder and Povetkin. That means that the story of boxing continues. It doesn't stay on a standstill. It has to be consistent. Okay, so if Povetkin does stop Dillian Whyte, okay, if he stops Dillian Whyte, that means Deontay Wilder and Povetkin should continue that path to the WBC once again. Deontay Wilder, and it's only right for him because regardless of just getting paid, if he has all the money already, sure, if he gets a little something for step-aside money or whatever that case is, I don't even know how that's going to play out, but I think he would want to do something to show that, hey, I'm making progress as a professional heavyweight, okay, former WBC champion. So if I'm Deontay Wilder, I would want to take on Povetkin. Why? Because if Povetkin can knock out Dillian Whyte twice and then he can come right behind Dillian Whyte and knock out Povetkin, the guy that knocked him out twice, what would that mean for him? What would that mean? For one, it would be a scapegoat for him never, ever, ever having to fight Dillian Whyte. But for two, it would show that he's back in the show. He's back. He's back in the mix. Okay, so I think that the fights could happen either one way or the other. But Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder, with all the deep-rooted hatred and the shit talk back and forth from the last 3 years, yes, let's please have that fight. But we have to make sure he prevails on March 27th. You guys tell me what you think about Mauricio Sulaiman okaying and liking the idea of that fight. I like the idea of that fight. You guys tell me what you think about that fight. And you all have been counterpunched. Peace.